Hello and welcome to the Reforged Mafia YouTube channel. Welcome to the family. For those of you who've been following our sort of progress over the past week, 10 days, we've undergone a slight rebrand. So this is our new name. We have a Discord server up as well, so the link will be below. Feel free to join if you are clanless and looking for a home. Today I've got Titus with me, who's just, lending a hand and, giving some statistics. Yeah, giving some statistics, giving some, some beef behind my waffle. Okay. So today's replay is a 3v3 on frozen lake bed. I've actually used one of my own replays just because there is an absolute drought out there at the minute. It's so hard to get hold of good battles.
Save your games.
And send them to us. Oh my god, please. Also, for those of you who've been watching our past few videos, you'll notice that I've actually fixed my graphics as well. So, you won't have to scratch your eyes out as I'm bestowing Third Age wisdom upon you. But I think without further ado, I'm going to just dive straight into army compositions, and let's get this battle off to a kickstart. So we have on this flank, we have Rules, who's going to be playing Rune, and his front line consists of some Eastron clansmen, which are just going to provide a potential cavalry buffer. Behind that, he's got some hunters, just to surprise some missile support. He's got the full contingent, I think, of the Gamprim, and that's 3 units. Again, he's got another unit of Eastron Hunters, which are going to surprise some staggered archered support. He's got a nice symmetrical setup here with some Sion Rim, the Spearmen, and then I believe this is 3 units of the Flagrim as well. And I believe they still have their AP, though I think a lot of the runic infantry was stripped of their ability power. And in the centre, he has some Eastron crossbowmen. The Golden Boys looking very fancy as always. Now, this is what I want to talk about. I kind of rushed his army comp there, just because I want to talk about the Cav basically. Of course, we have the incredibly cool Kamul, who is the general for Rules and the Runic army, and these Dragon Knights are not something to be trifled with. They've got 2 HP, they've got 20 charge and 18 morale, and they pack a punch. They really do. You can be quite aggressive with them due to their high defensive values, their high charge and the high morale. They're not going to break, and yeah, they're scary. they're quite scary. Crossbows and jabs do quite well against these.
Awesome.
Yeah, it really does. I like these little goat horns.
Yeah.
I think maybe Balrog, but I'm just going to say goat. And then we've got some Dragon's Wrath Warlords, slightly less effective in the charge than the Dragon Knights, but still pack a punch. Same morale and same HP, so these are just a slightly less effective version of the Dragon Knights, but still scary nonetheless. And now, ladies and gentlemen, this is what I've been wanting to see.
The Cadillac.
The Cadillac, the caddy of the Runic army. These guys, they pack a punch. They have locked morale, so these guys will not break. They have 4 HP. They cause fear, and they have, I think, the second highest charge in the game after Mumakil. So,
Yeah, just keep going.
I think, guys, up your runic game and get some chariots. I want to see how these guys actually perform.
You have to use them smart though; they will get focused down. So.
Yeah, they although they have all these amazing stats, there is only 10 chariots, 30 men, 3 in each chariot. So you're gonna have to use these guys pretty carefully. But moving on. This is my army composition. I'm playing Arthur Dane, obviously. And then one flank, I've got 2 units of hobbits, and sandwiched in between are Dunedain Rangers. at the back here we have some Grey Company, and these guys are really, really, really nasty.
They're ridiculous.
Mounted BP Rangers. What more could you want? These guys have 25 ammo as well. They're very lightly armoured, so they can be focused down with archers or cav, or anything with a spear, even hobbits. If these guys get caught, they're not going to last very long at all. But, you know, if you can keep them out of combat, then my god, do they pay for themselves. Moving on to my main line. I think I've stuck everyone in loose formation just because I'm obviously getting bombarded by a catapult. But in my front line, I've got 2 units of Arthur Dane marksmen. I think they're just providing some skirmish power. And I've got 3 units of civilians. I didn't have much money left. I usually take 1 just to break up the line, but I thought I was playing Misty against Misty, so I thought I would need as much help as I could just to sort of pad out my lines. And then my main line is just going to be 3 units of Arthur Dane pikemen. We're backed up by some Numinas gate guards, which are the best pike unit that Arthur Dane can field. An interesting note that these guys have counterattack, so if they do get charged by cav, they can punish the cav really, really, really effectively. So if you are, you know, savvy with these guys, they can pick up a lot of kills that your enemy didn't count on. I apologise for this slightly messy start. At least it gives the army composition some pizzazz. We can watch my pikemen burn to a crisp.
Nice catapult hits.
They are. I noticed my pikemen are stacked up quite badly here, so I do readjust. But yeah, so we got the 3 units of the pikemen, backed up by the Numinas gate guards. My general unit is hidden here. And he is the Wardens of the North. These guys are incredibly good. They've got 200 range, 2 HP, locked morale, ladies and gentlemen. So these guys are worth their soul. I think they're only outranged by a few Elven units. I think that's the max sort of range that humans can actually get. Somebody correct me in the comments if I am wrong. Okay, so I think it's obvious here that I've gone for something that can just hold the line. I do have 2 units of Dunedain peacekeepers holding up the flank just in case, just to counter anything that might come my way. But this army composition is really just about holding the line. The killing power lies in Arthur Dane's cavalry, and I've bought 3 units of melee cav. I've got 2 units of Dunedain mounted company, which are really, really good, really powerful, fast cav, but they're very lightly armoured, so they do get peppered down quite quickly. And then finally, the jewel of my army, which are the Knights of Numinas, and these guys have 20 charge and 2 HP, so they're kind of on a par with the Dragon Knights. So they're knight units, so they do cost quite a lot, 1500. And as I said before, my general is in the Wardens of the North, so this means that I can be super aggressive with my cav, should I please. And then you can't forget, at the front, I've got my sneaky hobbit slingers, trying to get a few early kills, seeing what Misty will do. And finally, I move on to Crimson Bayonet, who is playing Umbar, and he's got 2 units of mercenary cav, 1 melee, we've had this before, and another crossbow unit. These guys are cheap, they're average cav. They do the job if played well. His front line is the Belagar archers. These guys looking pretty snazzy in the red and black combo, but they're still, they're not the best looking Umbar unit. And behind he's just got the some crossbear corsairs, adding some BP to their sort of line, their skirmish line, and then, okay, pronunciation test. Abrazanim Nardu Bawib. Whew, I think I got it. I think I got it. Don't make me say it again, guys, because that's a challenge. So these guys are they're pretty good. They've got a high melee defense actually of 19 and a range of 180. Then he's just got a huge blob that seems to span for days of pikemen and infantry corsairs. His backline are some Belogar footmen, and he's got some Corsair savages, which are going to supply some AP to his army composition there. They are very, very lightly armoured, but they do have quite high damage. And then, again, it seems like most players in this match are of the same mind. We all seem to have sunk most of our sort of money into some elite cav. And then these guys, the Warlords of Umbar, I think are probably the most underrated unit of cav in the game. They are absolutely terrifying. They've got a charge of 20, 2 HP, 19 morale, and a defense of 32. 32. That is crazy.
Like you can't kill him.
They last forever. Far too long. I still get flashbacks. Honestly, it's bad. It's bad. And we have another unit of mercenary crossbowmen, and we have the Numenorian lancers, which are pretty damn good. Charge 15, defense 27, and morale of 16. So again, they pack a punch if used well. And I think I'm going to pass it on now to Titus before this battle gets away from us. To do the Cardolan army composition.
Okay, so Cardolan, commanded by Darret?
Darret.
His name?
Yeah, Darret.
Yeah,
I think.
he's bringing some Green Watch footmen in the front, just some standard pikes. He needs to be careful though, because they don't have much armor. There's no shield. So usually what people do is they put like a single or 2 units of spears in front of them just to protect them. But who knows? It's at the beginning of the battle and they're still setting up, so we'll see what he does. But hopefully he covers those guys, because that'd be kind of a waste. Then he's got some basic archers in the front. They're good though. They got the shield values, and I think they probably got a range of like 170, so it's not bad.
Yeah.
He's got 2 units of those. What's behind there? All right, so he's got some Minotaur Roman Guardians. So these guys, their ammo is only 8. So I wouldn't use them on just anybody. They are the BP to somebody's HP. You know what I mean? So,
oh god.
So they also got a charge of 9. So when they run out of ammo, they'll run out of ammo pretty fast. You can throw them in there, flank around. They got a good charge bonus, and they're really strong for an archer unit. Behind there, he's just got some basic spearmen, good at holding the line, so hopefully he moves those up in front of his pikemen. Then he's got some, what is that, Wardens of Tier
Gothard? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not good pronouncing it.
We'll get there, guys. We'll get there.
Yeah. They also have a counter charge, just like, what was your...
The gate guards. Yeah, the gate guards.
So they're kind of like almost the same thing in a way, and their morale is 17, so they're not going anywhere for a while. And then behind them, he's just got some basic swordsmen. He's got a lot of them, and then some mercenary swordsmen as well. And then he's got some Thurbad Warhammers, 2 HP. Their morale is 20, and their attack is 20 as well. So that's a cool dude right there.
Yeah.
Like
it's like a medicine. Like it's like some Venetian medicine, man. Slash Grim Reaper. Like I'm liking this scythe.
Just there to cut the grass with that thing.
God. Leave work at home. You know, don't bring work to Reforged.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So behind them, he's got his cav and some Thurbad riders. Those guys are pretty good. They got a charge of 20. The morale's not too high though. It's at 12. I think they're like 850 units, which ain't bad. So you can definitely get your money's worth out of those guys, and they have a shield value as well. So if you're good with them, just like a lot of standard cav units, you get your money's worth pretty fast. Some Dunedain commanders, some light cav. They're just kind of like, I guess, a basic charge cav, and then he's got his mercenary cavalry as well.
Yeah.
That if you're not careful, they will get destroyed pretty fast. But then we move on to Misty.
Is this Misty Mountains I see?
Yes, my favorite faction.
No, never.
Yeah, I never play with him.
No,
But,
no.
yeah,
You're not a
has
one-trick
some,
pony. You're not a one-trick pony.
I'm trying out some new factions. I just like the numbers. But yeah, so he's got these Drake Broodlings. Very, very good if used right. Now, they can get focused down with fire arrows, and they will break, and they'll turn on you. If they break with a good amount of number, though, they'll probably come back. But if they will not come back a second time if they break again, so they'll just end up running wild and amok and just causing havoc and running through your own lines and causing trouble.
Yeah.
But they're really good, and you can cause havoc with them. Let's see, he's got some heavy goblin infantry sitting over there on his flank, and then yeah, on both flanks.
Yeah.
And then in the front, he's got heavy goblin spears. He's got 4 units of those, which is good. That's like your base front line. They're also AP. That's probably a little over 1,000 in number.
Yeah,
So,
that's a lot of AP. That's and I think
Yeah.
there is going to be a readjustment. And I think
Yeah,
the Misty Mountains nerf per se, like inverted commas, I think is just going to be you'll only be able to bring 3 of these units instead of 4. I think
Yeah.
that's what it is at the moment, although things may change.
Yeah. But then he's got Black Root to the mountain in the back. He's got 3 units, so
It's a lot.
you can only bring 2 without a price upgrade. So I think he might have paid more for those, which we'll see if it comes to play out in his favor. More heavy goblin infantry. So he brought 5 units of heavy goblin infantry. He brought an artillery, which it doesn't really pay off for Misty most of the time. We'll see if it does this time.
I mean, he's already gotten some taste. It did pay off. He did get a lot of kills with it, but I just kind of stood there and took it. We'll see.
His Goblin King Bodyguard. Very good unit, high defense. They are not AP, I don't think. So it's either that or the Blackback Berserkers, which I'm more in favor of Blackback Berserkers just because they pack more of a punch.
Yeah.
And then he's got his Snow Trolls. What are they, like 5 HP?
Yeah, it's a lot.
Something like
And they've
that?
got such little, tiny, cute little shields for such.
Yeah, so
Like,
they will
oh,
last a lot longer than but cave trolls are more in number, and you can bring 2 cave trolls. You can only bring 1 snow troll.
but snow trolls are also so much faster. I think they're one of
Yeah.
the fastest units in the game.
Chase down Cav,
They can.
or at least
They're more
up with them.
specialized. No, they're a lot more specialized.
Yeah. And it doesn't look like he brought any archers.
No archers, and only the Drake Broodlings for Cav, I think.
And I can't see even basic goblin infantry, the free unit.
I think they're hidden. I think he does have them,
Yeah.
if I remember correctly.
Hopefully, because it's free.
they'll pop
we'll
up.
see.
They'll pop up.
Yeah. And then we'll move on to Lindon, commanded by Infix. Infix is a really good player. He knows his stuff.
He also runs quite a lot of scenarios as well. So
Yeah,
if you're free,
One thing, yeah, if you like scenarios, like custom scenarios where you see sometimes you see Apollo put them up and Uma Commander and J Monster, hit this guy up. He will let you in. He'll send you an invite to his server if he likes you. Just kidding, but yeah, so he knows how to get that stuff. Anyways, we'll move on to his army. He's got Lindon. He's got some Florida Marines. There are the cheaper javelins,
yeah,
but they still have a defense of 22 because they have that shield value.
and they're also got these nasty spears at the back, so they
Yeah,
kind of double up
they
as
are.
effective spear unit once they run out of their javelins. They're nasty. They're
Yeah.
nasty.
In front of that, he just has some Floridan Marine archers.
Yep.
Basic kind of archers for Lindon, and then he's got some. What are these guys?
Harland and Guards.
Baradian Guard.
Harlingen
Yeah.
Guard. So they're kind of like the Marines, I guess. So
Yeah.
they got like the spears as well. So once they're out of
Yeah,
ammo,
they
they
can
just
double
double up.
so they count as. I mean, it could be another infantry unit once you run out of ammo.
Yes,
Which
it's
is good.
Is it? Not if you're playing against them.
Yeah. He's got some Midland Marines, the more expensive Jap unit. They have a morale of 18 and their defense is 28, so they will last a little bit longer than the Floridan Marines, but they cost a little bit more. But if you have the money, I would say take those over the other guys. But
Yeah.
either way, they still do work.
Because these guys have sick plumage, so these guys of course are going to be cooler. So if you've got the money, splash
They have the
out.
cool hair.
Yeah, you got to look Gucci, guys. You got to look Gucci. So.
But yeah, so he's got some infantry in the front. This is like more of the basic infantry. He's got 4 units of that, which is good. And then behind them, he's just got some pikes.
I think 2 units.
I'm glad he's got his infantry
3.
in front of his pikes just in case.
Yeah, just in case.
Yeah, just in case. And then in the very back, he's got some Noldorian Guard, which is a very good infantry unit. They have a 32 defense and a morale of 19, so they aren't going anywhere. Those are your heavy hitters for Lindon.
Yeah.
And I think you can bring 2 at the most.
No, I think it's capped as 1 because it's a general unit as well. So I think it's capped at 1 before the price increase. But they are terrifying.
Yeah, they're very good.
Yeah,
Very
but
good.
it just sort of supplies the armor because Lindon is so, although they do have high defense, this is their only really heavily armored.
Aren't Lindon's friend. They can't take it like other factions. But yeah, well, and then the Horse Lords, where are they? In the back?
Yeah, they're in the back,
2
chilling.
HP. Yeah, they have a charge of 20, so a very good cav unit. It's not very big though. They only got 32 in there, and they have a morale of 19, which means they're not going to break on you. Which, you know, like most elite cav units aren't going to unless you just play god awful. But yeah, but yeah, I mean that's pretty much it for the red team.
Yeah,
So,
I've popped it up to ×1 speed, and I think at this point in time, the best thing to watch is civilians burning by the truckload through Misty Mountains. Misty Maya? God, words, man. Misty Mountains catapult fire. As you can see, they've kind of had a field day with some of my pikemen, but I think it's just scarier. It looks more painful than it is, so you just got to ride it out.
yeah, most of those shots miss anyway, so that's kind of like how artillery is.
Yeah, at this point in time, I'm just kind of pushing forward some of my archers, just to kind of provoke a reaction from Misty Mountains, because I'm not going to lie, I fully expected them to rush me, which is why I had my line set up the way I did. So you've got the line of Arthur Dane pikemen, and just to one side I've got some Dinner Down Rangers, so I was expecting them to rush me, and then once they'd engaged I planned to pick them off from the side with body piercing, and the hobbits are just there for support.
He doesn't have any archers either, so he either sits there and takes it all day, or he commits and moves forward.
Pretty much. They do get some more tasty shots off, and basically I'm just trying to probe a reaction at this minute. I know he's got some sort of hidden units. I look at his army, and I've played with you enough times to know that there's got to be more Misty Mountains than that.
Yeah.
So I know that there are hidden units. So
it's just a couple, but I mean you can put them out pretty far in front of your army if you don't line up on the line and kind of trick some cav or whatever.
See, and I kind of got so caught up with these guys were placed so close to Cardolan that I didn't actually see them, and so he caught me out here with his Drake Broodlings, and I lose a few, but I'm relatively quick to recover with my cav.
It wasn't the best charge.
It wasn't, but
I think you nerfed it because you ran away from it, so it helped out a lot.
And again, this is poor play by me. I should have at least tried to cover. I should have realised that they would just loop around. And I think there's some more cav charges going on here. Got the realm of Lindon punishing some of Rules' Eastern Hunters that he's pushed up. I think Rules did say that he was eating his breakfast at this point, so potentially, potentially this is one of those mismicroed moments where cereal like was more appealing than winning. So bad Rules, pay attention next time. So these guys are in Sheerwall, but I'm gonna start to pepper them. Just spinning over just to see if there's anything apart from a little skirmish battle going on here. I don't even think they're wasting their ammo firing on these clansmen and hunters.
Probably not. It'd be a smart choice.
Yeah, I think potentially Ensfitz is gonna want to sort of punish that, and I think some power play going on with the Drake Broodlings and my cav. I'm splitting up my cav here just to cover both sides and trying to force a reaction out of them. Yeah, just because fire arrows are the best way to deal with Drake Broodlings. They either run amok or just melt. And looking over to Crimson's side, he's just peppering down with his Belagar archers and some Nardu Bawib. Let's have a look at what he's focusing. I think he's trying to loosen up some of these pikes because there are quite a lot of them. He is going to outrange. I think he's going for the pikes or the archers.
Yeah, getting close there. See, that's what happens when you don't put a shield wall in front of your pikes. They will end up melting away.
Yeah.
Because they don't have like any armor or shield, so kind of not the best play, I guess. But he's got them pretty wide, so it's not like they're all getting hit.
We just have some power play going on, and I do see some sort of cav engagement on the flip side, so I'm just gonna shoot over, and it is Enfitz sort of punishing Rules, who's not giving too much of a damn. And is continuing to sort of... I mean, when you're spread out like this, there's only so much damage a cav charge can do. You'll only probably lose about 10, unless they decide to run it all the way down the line.
I'd call it a speed bump. It's just there to cause a little when the cav comes.
Okay, and we do see the archers move forward. Let's have a quick spin down here, because these Drake Broodlings have got a little bit greedy. They've gone for my marksman, and my knights are going to close in the gap with the Dunedain Mounted Company. They try and go for the Hobbit Slingers, but Hobbits obviously have got super high mass of like 0.05, so
yeah, they're already shaking. You don't want to get Drakes surrounded.
See, I turn my guys off skirmish mode at this point. I want to kind of capitalize on the shaken, but they do sort of recover quite quickly. I really want these Drake Broodlings sort of dealt with, so that would, since they have no archers, or it seems like they have no archers at this point, I just wanted to get rid of these guys ASAP, just so I could have free reign. And we do have Rules lending a hand, seeing if he can punish this heavy goblin infantry on the side flank with his Dragon's Wrath Warlord. He actually decides to back out. He's sending over both units of cav, and this is why. So I get a tasty charge off. He gets a tasty charge off on the Snaga. The Enfitz is here as well, backing up his ally, but it seems to be that he's been caught in the Goblin infantry, and Enfitz is going to take 1 or 2 losses. I think at this point in time there's just a lot of cycle charges going on. The Drake Broodlings are coming, so I think everyone's just kind of reforming, because there is a little bit of a reaction from Solomon.
And that's one thing, when you're an orc faction, you don't want to leave units out like that in the open. You kind of want to keep your army together. And like what he's doing right there is he's moving these single units of infantry out to try to stop a free unit, which isn't really worth anything if if they get kills, it's like, yay. If not, it's like, what do you do? And paying for it. So to try to like sacrifice people to save that free unit is a big no-no. And right now he got caught with Black Brutes, which is a very good unit in the open. So, but yeah, hopefully, guys watching this,
This is one. This is one thing that I really questioned. I think he had one shot or something left with his catapults, so he just wheeled them forward, just trying to get a better angle. And immediately, of course, I sort of punished them. We do see Rules sort of being caught slightly out of position with some Marines actually backing them up, but they are actually going to sandwich these Marines, and it's going to be quite damaging for Ems-Fitz, but his Horse Lords are backing him up.
And those Marines have a spear on them too, so it's not like super bad. It's still not what you want.
Yeah. So I've got my archers in a super weird position here, with in a V, with some Hobbit slingers backing up. The Drake Broodlings are still getting peppered, but still a thorn in my side. And if Rules has actually taken a lot of damage from those javelins, we actually see some of his both of his units of cavalry taking some serious damage, and the Horse Lords and the Drake Broodlings are now coming to face down on me. But I'm just going to zoom over to Crimson's side, because there seems to be quite a lot of action here now. We do have his cavalry sort of playing for this no man's land. It seems to be a bit of Darrett sort of punishing him, but we do have these crossbows who are taking chips out of these cavalry, and once these cavalry are sort of whittled down enough, Crimson will be free to sort of advance, because I think Umbar has the better infantry out of the two. But that's still a skirmish battle for now, and I think zipping over we see the death or the last of the Drake Broodlings. So I'm pretty glad at this point that the Drake Broodlings are dead. I've still remained pretty stationary with most of my army, and I think there's a bit of an advance going on. Oh wait, yes. So we do have Rules moving forward with his golden boys, ready to cause some carnage.
They look pretty good.
Yeah, they do, man. I just love the scene at the Black Gate with Frodo just chilling in the dust. And we have the first infantry sort of collisions.
Yay, it started!
Yes, and we have Belgar archers who are out of ammo, or have been had the gap closed, but probably out of ammo. And against some archers and some spearmen. That obviously, actually they've got the Nadu Babweb as well, so they do have a high defense. So they might actually perform relatively well against these, especially if they're backed up by these lancers, these crossbowmen, these archers as well, firing as well.
Yeah, he might be wanting to bunch people up and use his crossbow.
Okay, we'll zip over to this side, because I think I've started to realise that he has no archers. So, although there are some of Ems-Fitz's cavalry providing support, I'm sort of trying to take advantage of the fact his spears are remaining in shield wall. I think he's playing this not so great. I always think of Misty as a rush faction.
Well, I mean, you can play Misty without any archers. I would always bring like a couple, especially like even if the cheap archers, you can always use them for something. But most of the time when you're Misty and your archers are going to be probably outranged unless the enemy just has crossbows, and the archers aren't going to do much damage. So if you're getting peppered down and you don't have any archers, you need to go, because you're just kind of sitting there just taking hits for no reason and taking cab charges. These cab charges wouldn't be as bad if he would just go. and he would just watch his flanks with a spear unit or two,
Yeah.
and that'd be it.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, you can look at the carnage. I mean, I know these guys are relatively cheap, but I think at this point I've killed pretty much 200, and Enfitz kind of charges me here, and I have 3 units to his 1, so I decided to quickly turn around, and that I pretty much kill the unit there and then without too much damage from the horse lords. So as you can see, most of these are Lindon Cav, and that just kills the mobility even more, since the fact Solomon didn't even take Cav. Going over to this side, we have Dara sort of punishing the low morale of the mercenary Cav. It's also a numbers game as well here, I think. The one shining light, I think, is that he does have the Casimir's Rangers that are being left untouched, and they're actually focusing the Tharbad Riders. And as I say that, he changes his focus and is going to try and cut them down as well as he can. I think the first proper engagement is still underway, and it does look like Cardolan have taken the upper hand, and it's not looking so good for Crimson at this point of time. But zooming over, let's.
It's just one archer unit, so
It's just
like
one unit. We have the remnants of the Cav sort of trying to rack up the kills, and it's just the captain left. Let's see how many he can sort of hack down.
It's like, I'm the captain now.
I am the captain now. Well, calm down, mate. It's just you. You're not really the captain of anything, are you?
Oh man. Yeah, these guys are still being annoying. I mean, they're still lasting, so it's not like Rules made a bad choice with those guys standing out there in the middle in loose formation. I mean, they've taken a lot of losses, but they're still there being annoying, possibly wasting Infix's ammo, which I don't know if he's wasting that much ammo on him, but still.
Yeah. I'm just going to zip over to this side, because this is where I start to get a little bit more aggressive. You can see what I've sort of done on the right flank with Rules' help. We've done quite a lot of damage. We've taken a lot of the Cav off the field, and at this stage I'm sort of trying to replicate what I did before, because he still isn't moving. He's still like trying to hold his position with an ever decreasing army, and I kind of think that, you know, trolls do hurt Cav, and snow trolls are very good against Cav, but also at the same time, if you can get a charge off and just in and out, you do quite a lot of damage. And we do have the war chariots. They're making a move. Let's follow these Cadillacs for a moment and just get some cinematic shots.
Yeah.
Move, Dunedain. Ugh.
Funny thing.
Ugh. So, I see the trolls with their back to me. The Rules is gonna provide archer support as well. I just decide, in for a penny, in for a pound.
One thing that Solomon could have done, or I'll talk about it after we see this charge. Bad charge for those snow trolls.
Yeah, like I thought I would do better than I did. It was
picking up horses.
Like, we do see a few trolls go down, but I think I lost far too much Cav. And we do have the Rune war chariots coming in as well. They do have 4 HP, and they are against low tier units. And again, like I said, huge amounts of charge, in and out. We do see one go down, so you kind of get an idea. Yes, they are trolls, and again, pushing forward with the Black Uruks.
Yeah, if you want to push forward against Cav, you know, you just take your spears out.
And that's like 100 Black Uruks dead. Damn, son. If you zoom over here, the skirmish battle continues, although Crimson does seem to be closing the gap a little bit. And I think actually if we zip over to Rules' side, the battle is pretty much underway, and they've pushed forward their pikes. Both are sort of holding their ground. He's got the javelin infantry sort of throwing in, softening up these guys, but the Golden Boys are just going to stand there and take it, I think. Oh, that's savage.
Yeah, I was gonna say one thing that Misty could have done since they were losing, and they should have realized that, well, I don't have the cav power, I don't have the archer power. He could have just split his armies up and went one to Fitz, and the other one to Cardolan. Just give them forces just to back them up, since he was going to lose that fight. If they were like attacking right now, he could just send his troops over, deal with you guys, because he can't stand against you alone.
Yeah.
And it could be, you know, helpful. It's better than just standing there and taking arrows and capturing.
Yeah. Yeah, and I agree with that, actually, to be fair. Like, as soon as we started but I suppose if I saw him move, then I would have just tried to chase him down with my cav even more. We do have the Warlords of Umbar still up for Crimson. Very, very powerful unit. Also the Lancers. Yes, he has taken some casualties with his mercenary cav, but he still has the numbers. He still has some decent cav as well. I think at this stage they kind of pull the trigger. He engages. Nasty charge. He does sort of pull the trigger, and this is kind of what I've been waiting for. I've punished him very, 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 very heavily with my cav, and he's just going to engage and pull the trigger. But moving over to Rules and Lindon, we have the pikemen and the Golden Boy pikemen as well, just all out in this little war. We do have some support. Pokey. We do have the Flagrim trying to plug this gap that's been made by the javelins, and we also have this as well. He's just kind of covering this flank, which is going to die soon, so he's preparing for the future. We do have, oh nice, again this is some good chariot use. He's cutting up those men while shooting arrows, so it's quite like the Mummock in that regard as well. This is good use of chariots. It's a shame he lost one to the trolls, but this is where their sort of high defense comes into play. If they kind of need 4 hit points, because if they do sort of get caught, then that's devastating. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. That is what the chariots do.
It's an expensive unit too.
It's an expensive unit. That's a general unit, and he's cutting through them like grass. Hire this guy to do your lawns. It's zipping over to this side. We do have him just wait. I've kind of kept him engaged one unit of peacekeepers. I'm not 100% sure why, but I did it, and he's got his Goblin King bodyguard coming to join. I'm continually sort of harassing this line with my cav at the back. He's just going to throw some troops into it. The peacekeepers have just been trying to deal with the trolls, and of course I've got the Hobbit slingers throwing their AP rocks. I think I'm going to move them in a second because this isn't the best angle, but finally we have sort of the battle that I was hoping for, and yeah, he's going to try a little flank here as well. I'm just going to put down some suppressing fire.
I'm glad he's flanking. And one thing I like to mention is your pikes in the center row, the gate guards, the gatekeepers, is that what they're called?
Yeah, gate guards.
Gate guards. So he's got
only half the enemy force remains,
and Solomon could easily put his troops in shield wall, bust through there, and split your pike line. But you know, it's just what level he's playing on. You know, we don't know how experienced he is, but
Yeah,
at least we see him flanking around and
This-
doing the right things with that.
This is what these sort of videos are all about. They're just here to talk about tactics and hopefully sort of start a discussion, help newer players learn how to play, and things like that, and also watch people play badly when they eat breakfast. Sorry for using this replay, by the way, rules. Literally, it was scraping the bottom of the barrel. But it's, I think at this stage, I try and send some help. There are some golden boys still out there, sort of fighting, but at this stage, it looks pretty scary for, rules and Rune. So I do have some of my grey company. I think I also do send my hobbits, and I do have some civilians and some Dunedain rangers who are just trying to loosen up some of these pikemen. I think I do swap to a better target, I think, down the line in a little bit. But do you want to talk us through some? Actually, I think we're going to zip over to Crimson's side because we have a full scale engagement here.
Yeah, it's just a huge battle line. Goodness. So that is not what you want to see.
This is quite the blob. Quite the blob.
That is a buffet for archers, and especially if you have a BP archer unit, just would shred that. He has his thin line of pikes, which he's not moving up on the left side.
Yeah, the green.
So I would send up those. Yeah, and I would put that big blob. I would have spread it out. And if don't worry if your line's too thin, because you can always back it up with a unit and use all those other units to flank around. So
this
the blobbing up is always what you want to avoid. Even a pitch battle, a siege battle, whatever battle, you don't ever want to blob up those battles.
Yeah, we do have a lot of flanking going on. This is where the numbers come in advantage, especially since this blob is just blobs. He's quite thin everywhere else. Yeah, he's just thin everywhere else, which means that Crimson is more than likely going to make short work of this guy. Zipping back over to the Goblin side, Misty Mountains. I think relatively they're going to win on this side, I think, although we do have the hobbits continuing to throw their little rocks.
Yeah, and on that left side there's not much holding it, so if I was Solomon, I would send those black roots out of there and those spears to hit your pikes right in the back. But if they're sitting there just trying to take on 5 guys when you got more important things to do, get them out of there instead of just being hit by rocks.
And he does do this with his heavy goblin spearmen, but
now I look smart.
Yeah, now you look smart. Have you watched this replay before? And on this side we just have a blob of Arthurdyne pikemen fighting his black Uruks and his bodyguards.
Will hold
Guys, it's over. Oh, there we go. That is Cardolan's general, and we do have an amazing rear charge from the civilians. The shovels and pickaxes, and these guys will cut through the black Uruks because they are OP. So the general has just died on Crimson's side, and it looks like there's a line of dead golden boys. That is the Orc General down for Solomon, and at this stage I think I've just got some Dunedain Rangers firing. My Hobbits sort of holding the line here, just kind of stemming the tide of Lindon. We do have some archers still alive for rules, and some pocketed troops.
What's the percentage at?
The percentages are 68 to 65, so it's still pretty close. My land army is pretty small, so it's not that good. And as you say, Misty Mountains has the ability to break through lines. And not unsurprisingly, we see the blob being the last sort of defense. Crimson has made short work of the right-hand flank, seeing how thin it was set out. He does still have his wardens, which he is going to readjust and readdress this battle line for the oncoming horde that is Umbar. And he's gone, as I said before, for the numbers approach. Not a lot of high tier units, bar the cavalry, which are still up. We still have some Casimir's Rangers and I think some Warlords and Lancers, and they are, I think, just going to plague the flanks. And we do have a charge from the Numenorean Lancers as well. Not the best target. He does do okay because they don't have their, and he does break them. This is a brave target because they do have the helmets out. So I mean, if they're switched on,
it's a pricey unit to break too.
It's a pricey unit to break.
I mean, that blob, it would have been perfect to turn those around right now and just shoot that blob that Umbar brought. Even if he's not going to win, take a ton of kills out.
Yeah. I think this is now a question of cleaning up. So I'm going to zip over to, I think the middle is where things are going to sort of congregate. And it does seem like the AP hobbits have done their work, and everything's sort of going to blob up here. Tactics have gone out the window. I just want to get everything sort of in one space because Lindon is coming, and Lindon is scary. I have three cavalry left, 3 knights of Numenas, and 5 junior diamonds of company. And I think my cav micro at this point of time isn't the best, because I'm kind of just content to let them sort of fight it out. The Grey Company is what I'm going to be paying attention
to.
Well,
it looks like you're trying to break them. Breaking a unit is always easier.
Yeah, these guys are shaken, and I think if I was paying closer attention, I could have cycled a little bit more effectively and broken them. But we do have the Noldoran Guard.
They got their backs.
They did. Yeah, they weren't actually fighting that far away from me. And there are some black Orcs of the Mountain over here. I don't know why for. So we do have some archer support left.
I didn't know he had Shadowbow.
They must have been hidden for the army composition. But these guys, I think they're out of ammo because they have their swords drawn. But these guys will probably just be thrown in, and I am trying to recharge these Noldoran guards and these Fordlin archers, and yeah, at this stage it's sort of a brawl. There's 83% to 77, so it's still pretty close, but it gets to the wire. Like, a lot of what we have left are hobbits against elves, so we will see who the victor of this battle is. Let's get you some hobbit cinematic action. They're so small. I do like their hats though. They get good sense of style. See, for the unbreakable line, you want pikes and hobbits. They're actually.
The hobbits can fit under your pipeline.
Yep. Exactly, and as you can see, against the against these guys, the guards, defeat seems certain now. Half an aim, like pikemen and hobbitry and arms is all you need to beat the best unit in the facts. And we do have more goblin spears, more Lindon archers, and at this point I am pretty well surrounded. We do have the start of Crimson's cav coming, and I think at this stage, I think that was Solomon Cardolan in fact, who missed a defeat. So we have Numenorean Lancers. We get a tasty sort of, well, not that tasty, they're swords drawn. But they're just going to cut through, and I think they're just trying to shock the morale.
The fortune of
we just
battle
have to
goes our way.
On top of a
Let's
flank.
pray it remains as such.
we have my general here just fighting some infantry. But yeah, this is just a mosh pit. This is the tactics have gone out the window. Units are coming in one at a time, just trying to flank. And this is there are so many flanks going on here that it's hard to keep track.
Yeah, I mean, you guys saw the difference it would have made if Misty had a couple archer units.
Yeah,
it would have made you kind of iffy, like, oh, I might not charge the mouse so much. Or, you know, if you had a cav unit like Warg Riders, you don't want to get melee with most cav units with Warg Riders. So, just the presence on the battlefield would help counter what you were thinking about doing.
yeah, I mean,
just having
not even that. The fact he had is 4 spears bunched up. Even if it was 2 and 2 units of like heavy goblin infantry with 1 unit of spears on each flank, I probably wouldn't have tried it, or I would have been a lot less frequent in trying it, or I would have, yeah, I don't think I would have got away with so much. I was allowed to punish him quite heavily, and with this cavalry from Crimson, I think at this point of time, just pop it up to full speed. Should be full speed for a little while now. Apologies. But we had lots to talk about, man. We had lots to talk about.
Yeah, it was a good strategic battle. Like what you should do, what you shouldn't do. Hopefully you guys saw the importance of even bringing 1 or 2 archer units, but not bringing a lot of archer units. You know what I mean? So you gotta find that balance for each faction.
I mean, especially if you're playing defensive. If you're playing defensive, you should of course take cavalry and archers. Even if you're, I have no idea what my civilians are
Our
doing
men
over
have
there.
slain the enemy general.
He just got shot in the eyeball.
He did. That's some Harold. That's some 1066 style action for you guys. That's what the name of this video is going to be, 1066, in honor of this moment. So the moment Enflix took an arrow to the eye.
Lord.
And I think this is going to pretty much wrp up the battle for now. 94 to 83, so not the closest battle in the world. And you can...
But it was our only replay we had to put up.
Pretty much, unfortunately. And it was just because it was a relatively interesting replay in what to do, what not to do. Like, one of the things you shouldn't do is eat breakfast while playing Medieval Total War, otherwise Enflix will make you look like a noob on YouTube. I kid. So just looking, I mean, you can see 400 kills for Knights of Illuminas, almost 500 apiece for the Mounted Company, and that's just the extent I was able to abuse my cav.
Your civilians got a ton of kills.
Yeah, oh, did they? Nice. Always worth it. Always worth it. These guys, I think these guys, the ones that went for a trot halfway across the map. So, yeah, no, it's
like
been...
free beer over here.
Yeah, free beer? My God, bloody get back to work, civilians. Anyway, thanks for joining us. We've got a really cool replay for you set for tomorrow. Hopefully there'll be a surprise guest speaker helping us out with the video. It's gonna be...
you guys will like it. It's a custom map, custom everything, and a guest speaker, so it'll be good.
Yeah, no, so if you're interested in seeing something a little bit different, hopefully this will be up in the next couple of days. So just drop us a line if you want to see anything specific, if you want to see more sieges, or if you want to see a siege, because I don't think we've done one yet, but if you want to see anything, drop us a line and let us know what you think.
Yeah, thanks guys.
Right, see you guys.